Okay, so that leads me to a question that I have.
Okay.
DJ, I sent you the picture. Dana, I emailed you the picture just now, so you don't have it yet. But
you did not email me anything, sir, but okay.
There's a young NFL football player named Damar Hamlin. Now, people know about Damar.
Oh, yeah.
Damar, number 3 defensive player for the Buffalo Bills. Even if you don't watch football, you probably heard about there was real concern that this player died on the football field. I forget if it was a Sunday night, a Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I can't remember what night. It was a night game. He made a tackle. He stood up. He passed out. Mm-hmm. Right? And there was a big thing that night on TV. Afterwards on TV that week, it was pray for Damar. Pray for Damar, pray for Damar. That's all you heard was pray for Damar. And Damar Hamlin he's not playing football right now. I don't know if he ever will. I don't really follow this that closely. But Damar is good. He's up and around, and he's been meeting with players. He went to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
And he went to the Super Bowl wearing a jacket. Now, Dana, if you could post this so that people who are listening would know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Damar Hamlin showed up to the Super Bowl in a jacket, which I heard later, but I have not verified, is a Yeezy jacket. Kanye West.
Is that what it is?
Either inspired or designed by or something. Now, fact check me on that. I'm not 100% on that one.
I will be doing that.
But you could. Are you doing it right now?
Sure.
You don't have to, but
at some point I will double check that all facts that come out of your mouth are true.
So he's wearing a Letterman type jacket, blue with white sleeves, and on the back, on the top, it's got it says Eternal, and it's the letters Eternal are in various colors, and it looks like capitalized, not capitalized, various fonts as well.
You know, when they do the ransom letters.
Yeah, like that. And then I don't really know what's going on beside what eventually I want to talk about here, but there is, I don't know how to describe this. Really, it's supposed to be Jesus on the cross, I believe. Yes. But it's not Jesus, nor is it a human. No, or I don't know exactly what's going on here. But anyway, I had somebody ask me, first of all, if I was offended by it, and what my thoughts were of it. Because Damar Hamlin, because of all the talk about the pray for Damar and the prayer seemed to have worked, and Damar claiming his Christian faith and being thankful to God and all the prayers and everything, showed up wearing this jacket with whatever this thing is on a cross. All right, tell me about it. Let's hear about it.
Well, okay, so
is it Yeezy? Let's start there.
Well, that's where I'm kind of confused. It says one of them says Yeezy Kanye West jacket, and it's the jacket, and it's on Etsy for $148.64.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
But the one right next to it is $6,500, and that's St. Michael X Takashi Murakami varsity jacket, 11 in blue, men's size X.
Okay.
Takashi Murakami one, I think, is right. Because he has a bunch of these jackets, these Letterman jackets in different weird styles.
Okay. So I don't know exactly what is going on, but this is a very weird thing anyway. So I had a friend of mine ask me, are you offended by this? And would you ask him to take his jacket off if you saw him with it? And so I've been thinking about this since he asked me that question. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we're so desensitized to things having to do with Christ and with our faith, being in positions of being offended, that no, I'm not offended by it. I guess. I mean, I gloss over it like I gloss over a lot of things.
Right.
And I told him
Adrian Peterson was none too happy about it.
No, he wasn't. And I think that's what sparked his question was Adrian Peterson giving Damar Hamlin the business over this jacket.
Yep.
So no, I guess I'm not offended by it. Should I be? Yeah. Is it offensive? Yeah, it's offensive. Am I offended by it? I don't think so. I guess I don't really care all that much.
Yeah.
But the question he asked me was, would you ask him to remove it? And I said, would you make? He asked, would you ask him to go change his jacket? And so I said, if somebody showed up at our church wearing that jacket, I don't think they would, but if they did, I don't know that I would send them home or ask them to go home and change it, but I may ask them
about it.
What do you got going on here?
Well, and I guess so.
But I said I'm not gonna send Damar Hamlin a nasty gram. I don't know Damar.
Yeah, yeah. I guess here's my question that I'm trying to figure out. What is offensive about it?
I think the mangled
the artistic take on
the artistic take on it, the mangled sort of the mangled sort of depiction of Christ, I guess.
Sure.
Is it SpongeBob? I don't know what's going on here exactly.
Looking at this artist's other jackets, it seems to be his style. It's like this cartoonish style, and even the image of Christ.
It kind of reminds me of Picasso.
Yeah, even Christ on the cross on the back reminds me of like a paper doll.
Yeah, I think that especially with the pieces.
Yeah, and you take the pieces off and you.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay.
And so yeah, I'm not saying that if you're offended, you're wrong. What I'm saying is I'm curious what is offensive about it. What would be seen as offensive?
I think the fact that it's not a human being, I guess would be one, and it's not even attempting to be a human being. I guess it's got a face. Mm-hmm. But I don't. This is why I think I said that I sort of glossed over and said I'm not offended by it.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that you're offended. I'm saying what is offensive about it. Like
I think just the depiction, the cartoonish sort of. I can see where people would definitely consider it a mocking sort. Now that I think of it, if you squint your eyes and you turn your head. No, I'm kidding.
It looks kind of like him. I'm reading what it says on the front. It says, "Without end or beginning, there is no day and there is no night." One thing that I think Kanye West tries to do, and this isn't Kanye West, but it's this when artists take artistic license to express a spiritual message, it can be misconstrued. Prince did this all the time in his music. Dylan and I were watching Sing 2, and they started playing what's it? The elevator one.
I've never seen it.
Let's Get Crazy. Is that the name of the Prince song?
Yeah.
Is it Let's Get Crazy?
I don't know.
Well, that song is actually a very religious song, and the elevator is represented as the devil, and it's about resisting the devil. That's what that song's about.
Okay.
But to listen to it, who no one would think of that because it's Prince.
Say that again now. Say it again. What about the elevator?
We're not let the elevator break us down. Oh no, let's go.
But the elevator
is the devil.
Didn't he die? I mean, I'm not trying to be.
Yeah, Prince passed away
in an elevator.
I don't know about that.
In his home.
Hold on. Now, see.
Well, I don't know about that.
Now I gotta.
Fact check me.
All I'm doing, this is my job here. It's just fact check.
Fact check me.
My point being is that, without end or beginning, what I like about that is an artistic way of saying the Alpha and the Omega. Okay? Which is the name of God in Revelation, but it's also revealed by the end of Revelation to be the name of the Son of God, Jesus Christ, the Alpha and the Omega. which is cool. And what does it say? There is no day and there is no night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also true going back to the beginning, to Genesis, where God creates through the word Christ. As we learn in John, all things are created through him. There is no the first day, evening and morning, the first day, the evening, morning, the second day. So that on the sleeve is an artistic way of speaking about a couple of biblical truths that cover both Genesis and Revelation, which I think is kind of cool. It has saints down the arms on each side. And it seems to be referencing that you are a saint because of the depiction of the Christ figure over the heart on the front of the jacket, which I also find kind of interesting. And then the stuff on the back, I don't quite understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But is it blasphemous? I don't know.
He actually, until you just said that, I forgot that he asked me that too, if I thought it was blasphemous.
Again, I'd wonder how. Like how is it blasphemous? I think it's just not understanding art.
Okay.
Right. Is it just like we have such a standard image of what that should look like that if we see something that's different, people are just like, well, that's not what I always see, so it's wrong.
Well, okay, so think of two things here. One, when you think of Jesus, what image do you picture?
That one, like every grandma.
The blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus?
The one, it's like
with the flowing hair.
Yeah.
That, like kind of turned like.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's got blue eyes, which.
Yeah, I think so.
If you look closely, he's got blue eyes in that painting. And what is that depicting? Well, it's depicting, art depicts culture. And that comes out of Western culture. Why? Because a lot of us are white folks.
Right.
And that's been passed down. Jesus did not have blonde hair, and he did not have blue eyes.
Yeah, wasn't a thing.
But it's an irrelevant point in either case.
Right.
But some people want to push back against that. It's like another thing. If I asked you what color skin did the greatest theologian in the history of the church have, what would you say?
Ask the question again, please.
The greatest theologian in the history of Christendom, the Christian church, what color skin did he have?
Oh. Well, obviously Billy Graham. He was white. I'm kidding.
Billy was a pretty good evangelist. He wasn't a very good theologian. Who I'm referencing?
It's going on the internet, Ryan.
Who I'm referencing is Saint Augustine of Hippo.
Okay,
he's black.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah. The church is much.
I was joking, by the way.
We all know that, but I just. It's good that you say that, just for anybody that didn't know.
Again, my point being, and I don't want to offend people with any of this stuff, none of this really matters. But every culture has made imagery of Jesus in their own culture. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen images of Jesus where he looks Asian.
Yeah.
But if you're talking historically, he was a Jewish man in the Middle East during the time when they hadn't been in the diaspora in Europe for so many years, and they had a darker complexion. They had a more olive complexion than some of the imagery that we have about God and Jesus. And for me, that's what I see this as being. I hope it's not that. I hope it's not like we're rejecting the whole whiteness of Jesus, because Jesus is not. It's not that. Jesus doesn't represent whiteness or blackness or anything else in between. He represents what humanity should be. He's the only true human. We're a bunch of losers because we haven't lived up to what God created us to be. Jesus does. So that's kind of how I see this. And it also reminds me of, it's like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Because it's a cartoon and it's yellow and
Sure.
The Simpsons. So I don't find any of this blasphemous, but it would make me wonder, like, hey, what's that all mean? And if you were wearing that jacket and you said to me, I don't know, I just thought it looked cool.
See, okay. For me, like knowing that, like what he went through.
Yeah.
And then he's wearing that. I was like, that makes sense because he like literally died.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a connection there for you too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it makes sense of why he's wearing it, whether or not you like it.
Yep.
Right.
When his stylist was like, what do you think of this?
Right.
So
Also, Prince did die in an elevator.
Oh, did he really?
That's why I was laughing earlier.
Okay.
Oh man, that also adds all kinds of meaning.
Found him unresponsive in an elevator.
Oofda.
Hey, I didn't make it up.
I know. How do you know that?
Okay, here's how I know more than, well, I don't know much about the passing of Prince. There's people who know a lot more than I do, but I don't remember what day of the week he died on. It may have been a Wednesday. I don't know this for sure. However,
well, we can find out.
The weekend before Prince passed away, we were in Minneapolis, and this was before I was. This was at the very beginning of smartphones, where you could get on the interwebs and
Very beginning
of smartphones.
Like 2000. What would they be? 2000 and
what?
10?
When do you think?
Yeah.
2009.
Wait.
It's probably 2009, 2008.
Yeah.
You've lost
when did
me.
when did he die? What year? I don't know what year he died.
2016.
Yeah, he died. It wasn't.
So that's why I was like,
okay. Well, then maybe
I can't believe it's been that long.
Maybe it was the beginning of my smartphone era. The beginning of my smartphone era.
Okay. I will believe that.
But we were in Minneapolis, and I told my wife, you know what we should do?
What day did you say that you guessed that he died on?
On a Wednesday. Was it a Wednesday? Okay. So we were in Minneapolis on the weekend before he died, and I said to Tab, we should go drive by Prince's house. And she said, no. And I said, yeah, I want to find out. I spent like 45 minutes trying to figure out where Prince lives, because Paisley Park at that time meant nothing to me.
Right.
I didn't know what Paisley Park was.
Right.
But I said, we should go drive by Prince's house. And she said, no, what are we going to drive by Prince's house for? I said, I don't know. Maybe he's out getting the mail or something. I have no idea. Who knows? Let's go.
Walking the dog.
Yeah. She's like, no. And so I spent like 45 minutes. I can't figure it out. And she's over it. Like, why are you looking for Prince's address? You're being weird. So I gave it up. And then, of course, on Wednesday, he dies. And I said, see, Tabitha, what if he was out getting his mail when we drove by, and we could have had a conversation with Prince, and we'd have made his day, and everything would have been fine.
And would have invited us in. We would have become best friends.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe we could have had him here for supper on Wednesday.
He never would have overdosed.
Right. This is why I know a little bit more about Prince's death.
I see. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And Tabitha will corroborate this story for me, too.
Did you find Paisley Park?
No, I never drove by there.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm putting my flag in the ground. I'm not going there.
Okay.
No reason. He's not going to be getting his mail now.
On a side note, the iPhone began in 2007.
Oh, wow.
That was the original iPhone, not iPhone.
That was like the
else.
size of a box of chiclets, though. That thing was little.
Yeah.
It was like the same size as them now.
A little bit smaller.
Yeah, they were tiny.
Yeah.
That's why I got to have a Pixel for my old eyes.
Old eyes.
You're magically, I called you old.
Having my turn at that.
Yeah. So, okay. So back to DeMar.
Yes.
So offensive. Offense is in the eye of the beholder.
It is.
I guess, right?
You know, and here's the cool thing about the story that I read is that Adrian Peterson, first went on social media and said something, but then someone else was like, just DM him and talk to him.
Yeah,
Don't put it out here. And he did. And it sounds like, DeMar didn't mean anything by it.
Right.
And
that's, yeah.
And but here's the thing, like, if I offend someone, I want to do it on purpose.
Like me.
Yeah, I don't want to do it on accident. So, it sounds like that all worked itself out. And
yeah.
Some people found the jacket offensive. I mean, I personally don't find it offensive, but if others do,
someone's always going to find something offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's cool if he retired the jacket, if and didn't make a big stink about, well, too bad for, this is what
Sure.
Because if you're representing what the jacket hopefully is symbolizing, then that means being humble, quick to forgive, quick to correct, seeking to love and serve your neighbor. Jesus goes even further and says, don't just love your neighbor, love your enemy.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough stuff. But
I heard that tonight, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said it tonight. or God speaking through you said it. So.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there's that.
There's that.
Do we have time for another question?
Sure.
Another riveting question. Well, I gotta get my interwebs back open then, because I can't remember the questions that I asked you.
Also, I was laughing at your photo that you sent with your attachment.
Well, okay. So I emailed Dana this picture, but I just forwarded her the email that I sent you when I sent you the picture of the jacket. But
when you do that, the attachments don't go with it.
So when I emailed DJ, I said, "Here's some questions. Damar Hamlin's jacket." In parentheses, picture attached. And then I sent the email without the picture attached. So then when I sent the picture of the jacket, I also sent the picture of the most interesting man saying, I don't always send an email with an attachment, but when I do, I forget to attach the file. So that's why you got that as well.
Yes.
Hey everybody, so when we recorded this episode, we had no intention of making it 3 parts, but it's just that long. So, this concludes part 2. Tune in next week for the final and third part. I promise it's the last one. Have a good week.